Inquisitor Rise of the Red Blade by Delilah Dawson is out today. I got to read it early, so I've compiled a list of Easter eggs, fun facts, and references to other Star Wars stories from the novel. There will be some story spoilers ahead, especially if you've never read Charles Soule's Darth Vader comics, so this is your warning. The book's main character is Ascat Akaris, an Inquisitor we first met in Charles Soule's Darth Vader comics. At the start of her story, she works with her master, Simber Vey, to travel the galaxy and collect Force artifacts. Their first mission of the novel takes place on Ringo Vinda, a planet that became important in the Clone Wars as the site of a major battle that nearly led to the Jedi learning the truth of the Clone Troopers' inhibitor chips. Iskat remembers being chosen as a Padawan after the Jedi Tournament, which was another name for the Initiate Trials, which saw the elevation of Jedi younglings into Padawans. Iskat mentions seeing ancient lightsabers with interesting designs, like one that incorporated the tooth of a rancor into its hilt. That's something you can add to your own lightsaber at Savvy's workshop in Galaxy's Edge, or in the Star Wars Jedi games. Iskat's lightsaber actually uses the tooth of a Faraxan shark at the end of its hilt. That creature was first created for Knights of the Old Republic and could be seen on the planet Manan. One of Simber Vey's contacts is a collector on Barleth. That planet is home to a museum and university, which we know thanks to the Dr. Aphra comics. That's where the rogue archaeologist was educated. The Twi'lek Inquisitor from the Darth Vader comics, named Tualan, is a prominent character in this book alongside Akaris, and we also see his fall to the dark side. A rival Jedi Padawan of Askat's is said to have trained in Zama Shiwo on Jedha. That martial art was first created for Chirrut Imwe of Rogue One, and is the style of combat he uses in the film. The Jedi Master Clefan Opus is an Askagian, the same species as Jabba's dancer Yarna Dalgargan as seen in Return of the Jedi. Another Jedi Master, Theka, is an Arcanian, a culture first created for the old Tales of the Jedi comics. Their first canon appearance was more recent in the High Republic book Cataclysm. Yet another Master, Ume, is a Bim, a short, nearly human alien first seen in the Cantina in A New Hope. This is the first Bim we've seen in canon since then, but they popped up a handful of times in Legends. After the Battle of Geonosis, Iskat performs maintenance on her lightsaber, complaining that Geonosian sand can be very irritating and gets everywhere. That's of course a reference to Anakin's lines in Episode 2. This is also at least the second time author Delilah Dawson has called back to that scene. She included a similar reference in her book Phasma. Iskat pays a visit to the Jedi Archives, where she has several meetings with Jocasta Nu and Noxie Kell. Jocasta is, of course, the chief archivist seen in Attack of the Clones. Noxie Kell was Jocasta's assistant, first seen in the book Brotherhood by Mike Chen. She is named for Kelly Knox, a fellow Star Wars author and writer of the best Star Wars dad jokes you can find on Twitter. We see Iskat, Anakin, and several other Padawans promoted to the rank of Jedi Knight before the ceremony is interrupted with news of a bombing on Cato Nemoidia. That exact scene first played out in Brotherhood as well. When Iskat asks for information on fighting with two lightsabers, Jocasta suggests speaking with Pong Krell, the Basilisk Jedi who betrays his clone troopers in the Umbara arc of the Clone Wars. Iskat also occasionally works with Ahsoka Tano after she builds her own second lightsaber. And she receives some advice from the sabered hand himself, Kelleran Beck, who is mentioned multiple times taking care of the younglings of the temple. Iskat visits a garden in the temple on several occasions where she notes some familiar plants. Bodo was a medicinal herb first seen in the Legends Medstar duology of books. Bacani was also medicinal and appeared in the Old Republic games. Nakis leaf was a poisonous plant used by Trandoshans in some of their rituals. Coma bloom was a flower from the Legends Darth Plagueis novel that was highly toxic and, as the name suggests, would put its victims into a comatose state. Iskat befriends a Solonian droid technician there. That species has appeared often in the latest High Republic comic run, but first appeared in a comic strip way back in 1979. One of her first missions as a Jedi Knight takes her to the planet Thule. That world first appeared in Legends content established as a Sith world. That history remains true, and Iskat's team stumbles upon a Sith chamber. They use a new class attack shuttle to travel to and from Thule. That ship appeared throughout the Clone Wars series. On a separate mission, Iskat and Tualan have to rescue a slicer named Gintho. That was a species of spider-like creatures from Utapau. The actual slicer winds up being an Anzellan who created a mech for herself to walk around in, similar to what we saw Grogu use in The Mandalorian. Gintho reveals that she used to work for an Athorian on Batuu and then the droid depot there, referencing Dok-Ondar and Mubo respectively. It makes sense that Dawson would connect to Galaxy's Edge since she wrote the book Black Spire. During the mission, they use an astromech nicknamed Jats because it liked to play that kind of music throughout the ship. That music was first created for the Legends Star Wars Adventure Journal and was also referenced in Delilah Dawson's short story The Perfect Weapon. The mission takes place near the planet Agaris, which first appeared in the Adventures in Wild Space book The Cold. We learn that a scat is a Picorian, which isn't a reference to any pre-existing Star Wars aliens, but it's been a question raised about the Inquisitor since we met her, so I'm glad to have it answered. Iskat's final mission as a Jedi takes place on the planet Frong, which was first mentioned in the book Aftermath: Empire's End. The clones joke that the tubes of paste that serve as their food might be made of bilge bug protein, an insect that was also first created for the Aftermath books, this one from Life Debt. After being spared from Order 66, Iskat is held in an unknown prison on an unknown planet where she smells salt water. It's possible she could be on Nur, where the Fortress Inquisitorius is eventually built, or maybe it already has been. In a duel with the Seventh Sister, Iskat recognizes that the Inquisitor trained with Aayla Secura, maybe suggesting that she was her Padawan at one point. Iskat witnesses the aftermath of Vader's duel with the Sixth Brother, resulting in a missing left arm, which was seen in Charles Soule's Darth Vader comics. At night on Coruscant, she hears the screams of the violent reconditioning some of the Inquisitors had to go through, which we saw in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Iskat uses the Scythe, the same shuttle scene used by the Inquisitors in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. She is also allowed a full complement of Purge Troopers on her missions, also seen in Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Star Wars Jedi games, and the Darth Vader comics. The epilogue of the book covers the events of the Darth Vader issues that introduced Iskat, who we now know was called the 13th Sister. We see her kidnapping of an infant, her bond with Tualon, their escape attempt, and death, bringing her story full circle. While visiting the planet where they find and kill Eeth Koth, she rolls her eyes at the world, comparing it to the kind of place where their people are buried in unmarked graves or turned into bricks, and how dare she speak ill of Ferrix and their traditions. But those are all the fun facts and Easter eggs I found in Inquisitor: Rise of the Red Blade. Let me know if you caught something I missed in the comments. If you're interested in reading the book for yourself, you can pick up the audiobook for free on Audible by following the link in the description or by visiting audibletrial.com/Star Wars Explained. Signing up for a free trial will give you a credit for one free audiobook, which you can use on Inquisitor: Rise of the Red Blade right now. Or you can pick up just about any other Star Wars book you can think of. The Star Wars audiobooks are great, including sound effects and music, so it's like listening to a movie. If you sign up for a free trial with our link, you'll get one free audiobook and you'll be supporting the channel when you do. But that's it for today. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.